Raymond Martinez Jr. Hey, Raymond, great to see you. Says Lowell, was Bill Walsh taking the same type of heat that Kyle gets nowadays, early on in his career? Walsh.
Oh, his first 2 years, he didn't do well.
Yeah.
And he took a lot of heat. And he got heat from Ira and he got heat from me because he wasn't doing well. And here's the thing. And people don't know stuff like this, but because of Bill's temperament, which was he was very depressed, he'd get depressed and he was really insecure. And I didn't know it at the time, but I learned later. He used to say, did I make the wrong decision? Am I going to succeed? And he went through all of the anxiety that I would have gone through. And he had that his whole time. But yes, he had a tough time. But then all of a sudden that third year, oh my God. But Kyle hasn't done that.
Can you explain the difference between winning a Super Bowl and losing a Super Bowl? I know it's a stupid question, but what does it do for a coach when he actually wins that thing?
Okay. That's a really good question, Iggy. When you win the Super Bowl, everything is affirmed.
Yes.
Your project, your philosophy, your choice of players,
Yes.
Everything is affirmed. You're the best. You lose the Super Bowl, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You lost. You couldn't close the deal.
No.
You weren't good enough. And that applies to Harbaugh and that applies to Kyle. Now, they're both very good coaches, although I believe Harbaugh has shown more as a head coach. Don't tell me what's happening at Michigan. I'm talking about in the NFL.
Right.
He's shown more so far, but still. And listen, one of our friends who's a former coach with the Niners, after Harbaugh lost it, he called me and he said, we never lost a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They won 5.
Yeah.
He said, and he just said it as a matter of fact, we never lost a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And he meant there's all the difference in the world between who we were and who they were. We closed the deal 5 times.
Yeah. So I wasn't alive in the early 80s, but I believe there were some down years between 1981 and 1984. You're allowed to have those down years. You won the Super Bowl. People aren't trying to run you out of town. Were they trying to run him out of town in 1983?
No, and one of them was a strike year, so it was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. And, listen, it's not only that Walsh won the Super Bowl, Iggy, that he won 3 of them. It's that he changed football.
Right.
So he had a status beyond. He changed football in the sense a lot of coaches began to do his offense. Andy Reid still does.
Yeah.
And defenses had to adjust.
Yes. Right, like Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls, but he didn't change football, so he's not held.
Well, he was a great coach, but of
course he was.
He didn't do it like that. And Kyle has not yet had the impact on football that Bill did. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. Great question, Robert. Thank you. This is a question for me, real quick. Will says, "What defensive scheme do you think we will have as a base? Cover 2/Palm seems likely, but worried about pigeons eating that coverage up." Thoughts? I have no idea. It's a new defensive coordinator. I have no idea what DeMeco Ryans wants to do. We're assuming he wants to carry over what Robert Saleh was doing. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he has his own things he wants to do. The Niners brought in some guys who were defensive coordinators last year, James Betcher. Maybe he's going to have a bigger creative influence than you expect. So I don't know, but these will be some of the things I'll be looking for. Technically, I'm not supposed to watch practice and be like, okay, guys, they're running cover 2 this year. So I'll have to let you know in code. See if you can decode it but you'll still find out by preseason. So good question. Sorry, I can't answer it. That's our show, Dad. I thought it was a good one.
It's a high point in my week, Iggy. I'm just a retired guy looking out the window. And when we get to do this, one thing I want to say, I love you, guy.
Love you too, Dad. Absolutely. I'm glad people got to see you in action from 4 years ago because you can still do that stuff. You just decided to give the Niners a break, and I think they're real appreciative because even though I can be tough and some of the players think that I'm probably a little too snarky and stuff, I'm not nearly as tough as you were. And the Niners really don't know how easy they have it. Kyle has never met you. He doesn't know. He has no idea.
You know what the difference is? I grew up in Brooklyn and you grew up in Oakland.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset.
It's true. Yeah, you were when you were on the playground in Brooklyn, you were the conflicts were unavoidable and you were learning how to hold your own.
They were there every day.
when I was on the playground in Oakland, I was getting everyone on my side. Everyone liked me. I never had to really get in a fight in my whole life. And by the time I was, remember, in 8th grade at Monterey at the graduation, I won the Human Relations Award because I was so good at playing, certain people off.
You were strategic.
I was very strategic.
Every day in the playground in Brooklyn, I was getting my ass kicked by either.
I would have been the guy being like, "Yeah, kick his ass." Sorry, I'm popular. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Dad, this was a great show. Thanks everyone for watching. Matt, hold on. Schedule talk: Jax versus San Francisco, Lance versus Lawrence. The schedule ain't out yet. It's coming out tomorrow. I'll be on with Jesse Naylor late night talking about it. Hang tight, Matt. We'll get to you. I promise. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll be back later with Jack breaking down Aaron Banks' 2nd-round pick. Something you want to say?
I do. I love the stuff that you do. The stuff with Jesse. I love the breakdowns. Jack Hammer, if you're watching now, I learned from that stuff. You are really something. And Vish, he is the cutest guy. Vish, please don't be angry. I'm an old guy. Vish, you're the cutest guy, and you're so smart. You know so much about football. I just love watching that stuff, Iggy. I watch Niners After Dark.
It's a good show. Jesse's great. He's really
my
good.
wife says, "Are you going to come in?" I said, "I don't know. Niners After Dark. I don't know."
I know. How could you? Look? Clearly, this YouTube channel, our show, is the hottest thing going in the Bay Area, really the country. And one day, I will have a professional, stress-free, quiet office where I can really conduct this multi-million-dollar operation. But right now, I'm still in my bedroom, in my 1-bedroom apartment, and there's construction going on over the head.
I could hear it.
That's me. One day, really, it's going to be a top-notch operation. But for now, we're still doing it in the garage. And I think that's kind of gives it its charm. It's got a little bit of a lo-fi punk rock charm.